Welcome to Africa channel. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to help us.
A hand-built, one-of-a-kind, air-cooled 911 for wealthy Porsche enthusiasts who don't have everything. Yet. The 964 series Porsche 911 has a lot to thank Rob Dickinson for. The former singer-songwriter for British alt-rock band Catherine Wheel, and cousin of Iron Maiden frontman Bruce Dickinson, turned his passion for air-cooled Porsches into a business in 2009 when he founded Singer Vehicle Design. Since then, Singer's beautifully reimagined 964s have rehabilitated the reputation of what was once considered one of the least desirable Porsche 911 sports cars. Launched in 1989, the 964 was the product of a Porsche in crisis. Porsche's U.S. sales had plummeted 23% in 1987 and a further 32% in 1988, and production slumped from nearly 53,000 cars annually to just shy of 26,000. Production of the 944, once the cornerstone of Porsche's cash flow, was less than a third of its 1985 peak, and the 14-year-old 928 faced tough competition from BMW's 850i and the then new R129 Mercedes-Benz SL. And although Porsche insisted 85% of the 964 was all new, it looked little different from the previous model. Those same fundamentals underpin Theon Design's business model, which like Singer specializes in rebuilding 964s to the exacting specifications of wealthy enthusiasts who want a car that combines the look and feel and clattery engine noise of a classic air-cooled Porsche 911 with state-of-the-art engineering and luxury materials. Theon Design's Bello 01, a 964 rebuilt to order for a Belgian client, is a case in point. Based in Oxfordshire in the heart of the UK's motorsport valley, Theon Design was founded in 2016 by car designer Adam Hawley, whose resume includes stints at Jaguar Land Rover, Lotus, and BMW, and marketing and business development specialist Lucinda Argy. Since then, it has completed fewer than 20 cars, not the least because each of its hand-built 964s takes about 6,000 man-hours to construct. Cars can be ordered with steel or carbon fiber bodywork. Counterintuitively, perhaps, the steel-bodied cars are more expensive. Such bodywork requires 14 weeks of manual labor versus 2 weeks for a carbon car, as all the steel panels are hand-formed. Theon Design has 4 U.S. customers on its waiting list. And it's quite a wait. Order a car now, and it'll be 15 months before work starts and likely another 18 months before it is completed. On top of that, prices start at the equivalent of $462,000 for a Carrera 2 Coupe and $492,000 for a Carrera 2 Targa. And that doesn't include shipping or taxes. Or the cost of the donor car. Most of our customers have a massive interest in Porsche, Hawley says. Obviously. For Bello 01, the customer wanted a highly usable, modernized, air-cooled 911, he says. One that combined classic Porsche driving dynamics with real grand touring ability. That meant a Theon-created Porsche 911 with a comfortable, luxuriously trimmed interior and suspension that can handle a variety of road conditions. Beautifully trimmed in soft tan leather over black, Bello 01 is equipped with what Hawley calls touring front seats based on Porsche Recaro frames and mechanisms. However, they are modified with updated and custom-shaped foams to improve comfort and support. The classic 911 dash features gauges with numerals picked out in green, and a leather-wrapped carbon fiber center console runs between the front seats. The classic 3-spoke steering wheel is from Italy's Nardi and features custom stitching to match the seats. We opted for the charge coolers, as they negate the need for an intercooler, which would be challenging to package in a 964's compact engine bay, Hawley explains. This setup also means we can avoid adding air intake apertures to the bodywork. The engine, rebuilt with independent throttle bodies, float and ported heads, a lightened bottom end, motorsport-grade Molly barrels and pistons, and Carrillo connecting rods and custom profile camshafts, pumps out 400 horsepower and 367 pounds-to-foot of torque. These are not huge numbers by today's standards, perhaps. A new 911 Carrera S makes 443 horsepower and 390 pounds-to-foot from less than 3.0 liters. But the 2,789-pound Bello 01 is more than 500 pounds lighter than the contemporary Carrera S, which gives it a 12% better weight-to-power ratio. You feel the thrust the moment you take Bello 01 out on the road. I first tested a Porsche 911, a 3.0-liter Carrera, back in 1986 and subsequently racked up a lot of miles in 964s and 993s, so Bello 01's air-cooled clatter brings back a lot of good memories. As does its compact size, especially compared with today's 911, which is more than 6.5 feet wide, mirror to mirror. But Bello 01 is not how 911s used to be. It's better. Much, much better. The supercharger adds unexpected range to the iconic Flat 6's repertoire. There's more response than you get from either a naturally aspirated or turbocharged 911 engine the moment you tickle the gas pedal. It pulls strongly from as little as 1,000 revolutions per minute as the belt-driven Rotrex immediately starts to pump the combustion chambers full of air. Then you get the same meaty mid-range as an old-school 911 turbo motor, and beyond that, the lovely 7,000 revolutions per minute top end of a classic naturally aspirated air-cooled Flat 6. The engine drives through a 964 spec G55 speed manual rebuilt carefully by Theon design. The shift quality feels much more precise than any G50 I remember, even the ones I tested when they were new, and the perfectly spaced and well-weighted pedals make heel and toe downshifts a breeze. Bello 01 is also an object lesson in why a light car with a broad-shouldered engine doesn't require a 6 or 7-speed transmission. Third gear is all you need to dance this Porsche down a winding two-lane at a pace that will keep a modern 911 driver busy in its wake. More weight over the front axle, courtesy of the front-mounted electric air conditioning system, combined with a stiffer structure courtesy of a front strut brace, plus the sophisticated response of the track-type shocks means Bello 01 feels like a much more connected car than the factory Porsche 964-911 ever did. There's more bite from the front tires on initial turn-in, and while purists will shriek, Theon Design's electric power steering is excellent, not the least because it's calibrated to match the steering effort required of the old unassisted system as it worked tires with a smaller contact patch. There's also much less of the constant bobbing from the front end and the rumba from the rear that's so characteristic of old 911s, which makes the car feel much more composed over less than perfect roads. There's traction, of course, a ton of it, thanks to the weight of the engine over the rear axle, but the limited slip differential makes finding the chassis balance much easier when you go to power. Is Theon Design's 911 rework worth the money? Objectively, you could buy a new 911 GT3 RS, a 911 Turbo S, and a 911 Carrera Cabrio, ensuring you had a modern 911 for any mood, and still have enough left over to build a garage to house them. But what you pay for here is meticulous craftsmanship and stunning attention to detail. In an era when even Ferraris and Lamborghinis are mass-produced, owning a hand-built sports car is next-level stuff. Look at how many cars Pagani and Koenigsegg have sold for seven-figure sums over the past decade. So, then, yes. For seriously wealthy enthusiasts who want to indulge their passion for air-cooled Porsches, Theon Design's take on a 911 is worth the money.
We have come to the end of the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel to help us.